Time to take it to the dirt. This is Slingin Dirt, 1 hour of dirt track talk. Now, here are Ashley and David Stremme.
Good morning. It is Tuesday again. Stop it. I'm going to slap you. It's Tuesday, and you're listening to Slingin Dirt. We're going to talk about late models and modifieds today. We've got the Triple J threat today with Jimmy Phelps, Josh Richards, and Justin K joining us. We're excited. We're
Justin
your
K.
hosts.
Remember his name?
Yeah. You don't even know who he is.
No, I'm
I don't
looking
really
forward to
either, but we're going to learn
Go
about
ahead.
him today.
I didn't mean it. I was looking forward to hearing about him. So
Yeah, I'm excited. It should be interesting. I've seen his name a lot, and I'm like, we need to talk to this guy. So I hear he's the hero of Iowa.
Okay.
He's pretty well liked. So we'll have those three on. Jimmy, he won the Big Show 7 2 weeks ago, and then he picked up the win at Fulton this weekend.
Been hot.
He's also sitting third in the Super Dirt Car standings.
Who's leading?
Who do you think?
Brett Earn.
No, he's second.
Wait, Shepard.
Yep.
There's only about 5 guys I could really name, and then we're the 5 guys that are up front. So.
Well, then you have Josh Richards. He picked up the hat trick this weekend with the World of Outlaws at Atomic.
Hey.
And what?
Go ahead.
What are you putting?
Because
what?
I was looking at your Josh Richards
Yeah.
notes, and I put them. I do have little notes this week.
Today, he came in and
Yeah,
asked for a
came
piece
in.
of paper, so he does
I
have
scribbled
notes
some stuff
today.
down. But
So
I knew.
proud of you.
Go ahead and finish it. I'm going to talk about our little intro here.
And then last, we talked about Justin already. He's leading the IMCA points in the late model series. His name's been popping up a lot. He seems to be the hero of Iowa. He's leading the fan vote supposedly out there. So we'll
Wow.
talk to him and see what's going on. But
So-
anyhow, we're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. Hey.
It was quite the weekend because Thursday night got rained out for the Lucas Oil. They postponed it. And at Volunteer, which is always a great one when you're in the Bristol area. They always have the late models there, and we'd go and check them out. But to the Lucas Oil, talk about a little bit. It's really interesting, and I started looking at points before we got on air here because it's coming down to the end of the season. You can really start looking at points, who's gaining, who's losing. And it's interesting because I've said this, it takes a couple months, and guys will work very hard. Davenport has been very strong, and I still believe that Davenport and Rumley are the guys to beat. But everybody's working hard. They're tired of getting their ass kicked by them, so they've been working at it. And what I've heard, like Bloomer, I noticed, he had some different crew guys in his picture. Obviously, he won there at Lawrenceburg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know nothing about the race other than what I was following on Twitter and what I read online about like everybody else. But I do know that there are some personnel changes in his camp for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. He ended up winning there, and Davenport got second. What I was real interested in is on the point side, when you look at it, and we'll go back to the points, you got Jimmy Owens who's sitting second at 255 behind Davenport. But Owens finished third in Lucas Oil, and Jimmy is working hard. It's obviously, people forget that it's still a black 20. He has Widow Wax on there, but it was kind of a new team because driving for Brian Rowland in Rowland Motorsports. Rowland Racing. The thing is that it probably took some different financial areas trying to, get everything worked out. Anyways, he's really coming towards the end of this year. He's running a lot better. And we see it in the points, in his finishes. He's right there with him. The other is Dennis Erb's obviously been very strong. He finished 5th there at Lawrenceburg. He's been very good a lot of the different places that he's gone, whether it was the World Outlaws or Lucas Oil. The other two, and it's not their fault at all, as we talked to Steve Francis, has had terrible luck. He had a flat early on. He finished 13th. Don O'Neill finished 9th. We got to get on Clint Boyer's ass because they got to run better. I understand Clint's busy working on his day job as they heard MWR shutting down, and he's trying to figure out what he's going to do. But, man, them teams are better than where they're finishing. And they got to get their butt in gear and get going. So I know Barry Wright.
It's amazing what this is like when you have notes.
Well, anyways, I've been saying that.
I don't
it's
know how you read this.
What I want to
but...
do, though, is get some facts because I go, Don O'Neill just won championship last year. So I know they have it in them. It's just a matter of, they got to start working. And you look at Mikey Marlar. He ended up winning at Ponderosa, which he beat Scott Bloomquist. He's in, and I got corrected because I thought he was in a Club 29 car. He's in a Capital car. And the Capital car, he has been phenomenal. Topless race. We could go on and on with the North-South shootout. Yeah, I mean, he's been very, very strong. So I had a buddy of mine ask me, and they go, hey, what kind of cars would you get? What would you buy in a late model? I said, look, I don't build no late models, but the Longhorn is very hard to beat right now. When I look at Josh Richards' record, he's won the last 5 out of 6 races. The only person to beat him is Rick Eckert in his new Longhorn. So I called Josh Richards Mr. August because he's won everything pretty much in August. But when I look at chassis, Shane Clanton, Mikey Marlar, they're running good in their Capital stuff. You got Bloomer who's doing his own deal, and or Jared Landers is running very well. But there's not one guy, that's sticking out. They're all catching up. So back to kind of some of my point.
Oh my God.
Well, I got a little bit of this. Sorry. The World Outlaws, all right, and and you remember this of when I said this back when Bloomer at Falls, and then he went up to Cedar Lake and ended up winning. I said these guys are going to be working on their stuff, and I think it was 2 weeks after, Richards went up to Kaiser Manufacturing, and I'm gonna call him out and ask him about this because they worked on some stuff, and I'm telling you, he's been on fire and running very good. So the World Finals, my whole talk about all this is the World Finals is going to be awesome because all them guys will be there, and I'm telling you, it's getting where it's hard to really pick a guy when you put them all together who's going to win. And let's not forget Darrell Lanigan, who has been sitting at home. I mean, he's been racing a little bit. Let's just say he's been here or there. I seen he finished 14th somewhere, and they're like, 14th. I'm like, look, this guy's testing. He's getting ready, and he'll be tough, So there's a lot of guys in this dirt late model world that it's really building, and they're doing it right before the end of the season. And I think Davenport's pretty safe. If he don't hiccup and have some bad luck, he should be able to win that Lucas points. But my buddy Shane Clanton, I told him last week he better get on the ball because Josh Richards is running really good, and he's only 154 behind. And I hope to see Eckert finish 3rd in the World Outlaw points because he's right there with Chubb Frank. Nothing against you, Chubb, but I like Eckert, and I think he can get on with it. And how his team started the year out, and where they were really kind of behind putting everything together, and then they kind of come through, and he's been better. So that's my take on dirt late model stuff. I didn't mean to talk too long, but I had
maybe
some stuff
you shouldn't
there.
have notes from now on.
Okay, maybe no notes. But
Well, to reflect.
you didn't know any of that.
Yes,
half
I
of it.
did.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, if you read my notes, you will notice that all of that was
it's
there.
Just, hers is like a one-liner. But.
Yeah, because I don't listen. Never mind. Yours I can't even follow along with. But in the same retrospect, the Super Dirt Car Series is also in the same heated battle as the late models right now amongst those 3. And Jimmy will be able to come on and tell us today. He's currently 3rd, 100 points out of first place. There's 11 races left. So they still have a little bit of time to get things done. And he's in the same boat. He's picked up 2 wins in 2 weeks. The momentum's going. Tonight's Mr. Dirt Car.
Really?
That's right.
Wow.
So big race tonight for those guys. But also in the mods, I want to shout out some names. Hearn. We all know who Brett Hearn is.
I seen him in Victory Lane.
He won 3 races this weekend.
Wow.
Canandaigua, no, that was Shepherd. I'm sorry, Lebanon Valley and Cornwall. But at Albany, Saratoga, he picked up his 125th win there this weekend.
Really?
And some other records.
Wow.
Shepherd picked up his 50th win at Canandaigua. Bridgeport ran their 1,000th mod show ever.
1,000th mod show?
Mm-hmm.
That's about like Bowman Gray won their 1,000th local event.
Yeah.
Well,
it's the same
thing. It was
thing.
like that was 2 weeks ago, but.
Yeah, and Friesen at Bridgeport, Alan Johnson, Craig Van Doren, all names we've all talked about.
What'd you call him? BPJ or something?
BPJ? I think he picked up a win this weekend, too.
That's Billy Pouch Jr.
That's right, BPJ.
I know he finished, because Rico won the midget race.
Oh, yeah.
This is more for the Wing Nation show.
Well, there's no wings on the USAC cars, but
anyway,
Rico will be on Wing Nation next.
So they can ask. He tore up Pennsylvania a little bit
He
there.
did.
But the posse got him at the Grove. But anyways, when you talk modifieds, and I was looking at the UMP, well, I'll talk about this when we go back to the points thing. Derek Ramey's just tearing him up, Renegades of Dirt. We're going to have him on. He's pretty much sewed up the national points. The Southern deal, he's just got to finish. We figured, I think, in the top 20, which will probably be 20 to start because they're doing a north and a south race there at Wythe on September 25th. But he's 3rd in the northern points, which is really good. And I mean, he's had a heck of a year. They've done very well with limited amount of funds. But the UMP national points, we'll talk more towards the end of the show. But it's really interesting what's going on there because at bonus points and all this, and I was kind of learning more about it. And You got a heck of a battle with Gilpin, who's won it 3 times, and Harrison's leading right now by 3 points. So the points battles, and a lot of fans are like, oh, maybe this time of year is school, we're going back to there. Listen, there's a lot of stuff kind of going on and building here for the month of October, I call it.
And USMTS, I'm assuming, now this is a total guess because I didn't look at their stuff because I know they don't race for a while, but I'm assuming Rodney Sanders is leading because he's won like the last 18 races or something crazy like that.
I think last I looked, he was actually second.
Really?
We'll look at here on break.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. But coming up next, we have Jimmy Phelps and Josh Richards joins us after the break here on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Dale Jr. here. I wear Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable anytime, anywhere.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans are built with a U-shaped construction, so they give you more room where you need it. And their 4-way flex technology moves with you for all-day comfort.
In the garage or out and about, Wrangler knows the ins and outs of comfort. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
They touch, they bump, they head for turn number 1.
This is Darlington.
Ricky Craven gets the win.
On these hallowed grounds, tradition is coveted because it's about where we come from
Elliott takes it and wins the Winston Million.
and where we're headed.
Chase Elliott wins here at the Darlington Race.
Tradition returns Labor Day weekend with the Bojangles Southern 500. Celebrate the next great chapter September 4th through the 6th. For tickets, call 866-459-RACE or visit darlingtonraceway.com.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt. We're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. Now on the line, he's the Big Show 7 winner, and he picks up another win this weekend at Fulton. It's Jimmy Phelps. Welcome to the show, Jimmy.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you.
Glad to have you this week. I know you had commitments last week and you couldn't join us, but we had to get you on to talk about this Big Show 7 win and where it puts you in points for the Super Dirt Car Series. The momentum's rolling now. What do you have left for tonight for Mr. Dirt?
Well, hopefully we got a lot. We're working hard. We obviously have to approach Lebanon Valley a little differently than we have to approach most places. But historically we've been pretty decent there. We've came up a little short, but we've been close to winning that thing in the past. And you never know. You never know what you got till you get there. But I'm pretty confident we're gonna be all right.
So we had your I'd call him your teammate Brandon Shepard on a few months ago, and we talked about his role in your guys' team. And what is, like, with your side, do you rely a lot on him for setups as you're going through some of this, or are you guys kind of on your own little deal there?
No, I mean we obviously have separate fields we're looking for to some extent. But for the most part, I think we're pretty compatible when it comes to what we're trying to achieve, with the race cars. And obviously I'd be foolish not to rely on him. I mean, he's probably one of the best there is. He's certainly one of the smartest guys I've ever had to work with as far as, understanding how these things work. And so naturally, I mean, I got with everything that we have going on between the racetrack and, the racing and stuff, it's definitely been helpful to be able to rely on his input some and going track to track. I mean, we've been doing this long enough that we got some pretty decent notes, and we got a lot of smart people around this deal. So it's just one more asset that that we have to work with.
So is it a way? Is it like he just looks at things a lot different and kind of opens your eyes up to maybe different setups or different parts of car, or you do the same to him? Is that kind of how it works there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's probably not always the case, but I think that there's, in conversation, I mean, he knows that I'm being straight with him, and I know he's being straight with me, and at the end of the day, you can kind of, pick things apart and maybe learn what, what we're trying to learn without even, realizing it. I guess. Yep. To make it clear, I think the big thing is just having somebody that understands that feeling, that's been in the seat, sometimes gives things a little different perspective than, talking to a crew or talking to, somebody else involved. So that's probably the biggest thing.
So you have 4 wins. 1 is a Super Dirt Car Series, the Big Show 7. You're third in points, and you're only 100 points out of first. There's 11 races left. Where is your mindset on all that?
Well, I think we're all right. 100 points seems like a lot. And, on the weekly front, it is a lot. But, when you talk about this series, there's such big swings when things happen, good or bad. And especially we get into we get into the postseason, and then, we start running into 150-point races, and, a lot can happen. And I've said all along, if we can be within 100 points or close to it, come Labor Day, we got a legitimate shot here, and so far we're on track. Obviously we've had a few nights that I'd like back. Cornwall was one of them the other night. We struggled a little bit in qualifying and just got ourselves behind all night, and took a little bit of a hit there. And then obviously Grandview was a tough night for us, and we lost some points there. But for the most part, I think we've been consistently decent. Obviously, the Big Show win certainly did a lot for the confidence, and we need to focus on trying to get some more wins. If we can win on the series, the rest can kind of fall in line, and that's the goal right now.
So with the points battle, and it always seems like it's come down to the World Finals. Is that something that do you feel it's a 4-man race, or is it pretty much down to just you 3?
No, like I said, I think if you look at the big picture, I think right now, you still can't count Billy Decker out either. He had a really good start to the year from a performance standpoint, but had some problems. I think he might have fell out of a race or two. Got wrecked at Brockville running in the top 3. So again, that can happen, and it can happen to anybody. And I think that he's been running strong enough that he's definitely going to be a factor, or could be a factor also. So I think it's probably 4. Really, really proud and excited to be a part of that 4. And I know we're just really working hard trying to make the right decisions when we load up to leave for these tracks, and just hope things go our way and that we can qualify well and be a factor. That's such a big part of it. And like I said, we get into this postseason, we got a few more weeks left, and then once Labor Day comes, then pretty much everything's going to be an extra point race, and then that's where we really need to be on our game.
So do you look at, with obviously Syracuse coming up and being the last Syracuse race and having a points battle, do you have any different mindset of where you go, all right, I want to win the last Syracuse race, or you're like, man, we got to really get some good points here still to try to capitalize on this?
Well, again, I've never really felt like we've ever won into Syracuse points racing. You know what I mean? I think a Syracuse win, in my opinion, is probably as big a carrot as the series. And especially for me, who has never won either. I guess they're both pretty big, and I think again, still comes down to the old saying, if you win races, the points take care of themselves. So I think you go into Syracuse trying to win that thing, and the fact that it looks like it could be the last one at the State Fairgrounds, obviously that's going to make it even more special. But I think the plan when we roll into the fairgrounds is try to win that race.
Now, I want to talk about Charlotte a little bit, because a lot of the guys, when they are points battling and it comes down to that last race, they always say it's a crapshoot because you don't race there all year long and you come in for the last race and you don't really know what you're going to get for the track. It's different every year. Does that play a huge factor in how you mentally prepare for Charlotte?
Well, Charlotte's tough, and it is a crapshoot because, and it's not even just the fact that the guys haven't seen the track all summer. We go to racetracks, we haven't seen all summer every year, but the qualifying structure there makes it very touchy. We roll in, and we basically, time trial, the first time the car rolls on the track, and they roll us out for hot laps. We're typically the first out, and I'm not complaining. It is what it is, but we go out there and we turn 2-3 laps, and then that ends up lining us up for our, qualifying for the individual, nights, Friday, Saturday nights. So, you really need to unload really, really good. And if you don't, you can pay dearly for it. And, when that comes down to, when it comes down to, you end up paying dearly and it ends up, factoring into a complete season worth of points or, decides the championship, then, that makes it very difficult to, it makes it a very, tough situation. But, again, it's like anything else, everybody's in the same boat, and you just, I guess you got to do your homework and put a setup in the car where you can, try to be fast right off the trailer, and if you can be, and you can cut a couple good laps, usually the rest kind of falls in line.
So with Syracuse coming up, and I want to talk about Syracuse because a lot of people in this Charlotte area on the Cup teams, Nation or Xfinity teams, truck teams, they're like, man, we're going to try to get there. The last race. Do you think it's going to probably be one of the biggest Syracuse races, coming up, being that it's the last one and it's the last time people can kind of go watch here?
Oh, I don't see how it couldn't be. It's going to be a historical event for sure. Everybody knows that going in. There's always a chance anytime a race is held that it could be a part of history, but kind of knowing it going in that it's going to be a part of history is certainly going to be a draw, not only for the competitors but for the fans, but the competitors also. I know, it's always been said, whether it be the support divisions or the sportsman guys or the pro stocks or whatever, someday I'm going to get to Syracuse. Well, I think you're going to see a big contingent of guys that are going to come out in all classes just because, they may have never been there and it was on their bucket list, or, they're going to take that last stab at trying to win the thing or just want to be a part of history, so to speak. So I think it's going to be just a huge turnout on all sides of the fence.
Where do you think, obviously being the last year, what do you think they're going to do for next year? Have you heard anything on trying to hold it?
We're hearing bits and pieces. Nothing's in stone, let's put it that way. I know that, the folks at Dirt Car are working hard on trying to, build a
new legacy.
A secondary plan, and that's really all I know. I think it's pretty early yet.
What would be, if you were in charge of the World Dirt Car Group, what would be your suggestion of what you'd like to see happen?
I don't know. I think the biggest thing obviously is, there's a lot of great racetracks. Selfishly, I'd love to see it stay in Central New York. That's where I was born. It's where I live. Pretty spoiled on that front. To have, the Super Bowl right in your backyard. So, love to see it stay in Central New York. I think that, there's a lot of tracks. The local tracks, the Weed Sports, the Brewers, Rolling Wheels. These tracks that are part of that thing that, all still, love to see them all still be able to be involved. But from a racing standpoint, I don't know. I think it's probably safe to say that the general consensus is that the mile, as unique as it was never really conducive to great racing. So I think, that being said, maybe a little more race-friendly speedway to have it on, and I think the biggest thing is just trying to find, a venue that can accommodate that camping contingent and the amount of people that are actually, on site for that thing, and that's going to be a very difficult task for sure.
Well, speaking of Super Dirt Week, we have a question from Twitter. He's one of our greatest followers. It's Chris Dolak. He wants to know if you're ready for some 5 a.m. TV appearances.
We're always ready. We're up that early anyways. It'd be Jeff Hackman that we'd have to worry about whether he can get up or not.
My question is, are you getting up that early, or are you just going to bed that early?
No, I'm actually getting up that early. Those days I'm getting too old to go to bed that early.
I was going to say I don't
that late. Let's put it that way.
I was going to say your operation. I don't really know you, but I've watched your operation a lot when we've been at Florida, and it's very professional. Very, they're there for business more than the party, and like some of the other guys are. But what do you see? Obviously there was with Indy cars with what happened this past weekend, and everybody's talk of safety and doing stuff, and obviously motorsports is very dangerous. And the big block world is been very fortunate. There haven't been a lot of accidents. But is there anything that you would like to see different in the safety side of the big block cars?
That's a tough question. I mean, there's always going to be room for improvement. I was actually probably one of the biggest offenders. I really I didn't care for these self-containment seats that we have now. I was kind of really resistant on going with the Hans device. I mean, I see both sides. I think if there's anything that first and foremost we can do, I think the majority of people are using a head and neck restraint of some sort, and I would say that from a dirt modified standpoint, I think it needs to be mandated. I think it needs to be mandated in all racing, and I wouldn't have said that 6-7 years ago, but I think that would be a good first step. I think we're very fortunate that a dirt modified structurally is not going to win, anything can happen, but a very, very safe race car.
Yep.
Just general proximity to the driver, being in the center, and all the material that's around it, and Dirt's made a couple strides in strengthening the cage and protecting the driver from something going inside the car. So I mean, they're working towards it. And I guess I don't know. I mean, I think the seats and the head and neck restraints are big. They're the one component that really aren't mandatory, and I think that could easily be done now based off of the fact that the majority have kind of went that direction anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the construction of a sprint car or anything else for that matter.
I just didn't know if there was
really
something.
Comment intelligently on it, but
Yeah.
I think if just racing as a whole just continues to never stop looking at possibilities to try, and that's the main thing.
I didn't know if there was something off the top of your head because being that you've run the big block cars a lot, that maybe there was something there. But hey, good luck to you,
Mr. Dirt tonight. We hope to see you in Victory Lane.
I'd love to be there. I'll tell you, it's got away from us, so I mean, it'd be nice to grab that thing.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll see you at the top of the points also when you're down here in Charlotte.
I appreciate that, and thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks,
you.
Jimmy. Josh Richards joins us next on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
The Cascadia Evolution is the latest innovation from Freightliner Trucks, the official hauler of NASCAR. Powered exclusively by the Detroit Integrated Powertrain, the Cascadia Evolution achieves up to a 7% increase in fuel economy over the first-generation EPA 2010 compliant Cascadia model, keeping you on the road and in the race longer. For more information, visit FreightlinerTrucks.com. Freightliner Trucks, a division of Daimler Trucks North America. Freightliner Trucks. Run smart.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, the host of NASCAR Live. We've been taking your calls every Tuesday night for over 30 years, but now you don't have to wait for Tuesday. Call Motor Racing Network's fan hotline at 844-4-ASK-MRN.
I think Kyle Busch should be able to step right in and run for the championship if he gets a win. Just like any other sports figure, they're out for part of the season because of an injury. They come in, they win the championship, they win the trophy.
Be a part of the voice of NASCAR. Call 844-4-ASK-MRN.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. We're the Stremmes, and you're listening to Slingin Dirt, brought to you by STP, in for the long haul. Joining us now, he swept the weekend at Atomic and made it a hat trick for the weekend by winning at Erie's. It's Josh Richards. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Thanks for having me on here.
So you pick up the hat trick. The momentum, I feel like that's what I've been talking about lately, is rolling. 5 out of the last 6 World of Outlaws win. How is this summing up your August, your points? Where does this put you?
It's just, it's been a lot of fun lately. We've kind of had an up and down year, and, after not racing last year, I think I ran, 2 or 3 races at the end of the year. And then, jumping back in full bore, it's, we won right out of the bat in Florida. We won 3 races in Florida. And then in the middle of the season, we were always, you're always searching to try to get better. I think we've spent, half of our season trying, stuff with engines and stuff with the cars and stuff with the shocks, just trying to find a comfort zone. I feel like we finally put everything together here lately, and it's definitely shown. So, I mean, to win the last 5 out of 6 it's been a little surreal, but it's been a lot of fun, and it is at tracks that, I was confident going at tracks I've always run well at. And, we've made strides with our cars and in our program, and it's been a lot of fun for sure. But, we're the points chase, we're second in points, and realistically, we don't have a shot at the championship unless Clanton would really mess up. We just had some rough nights, had some bad luck. Either, we have something break or mechanical malfunctions in the middle of the year that he just hasn't had yet. He was winning, we were running, having problems running 15th or 20th and losing points, and now that we're winning, he's running second right there with us. So it's Clanton's been really good this year, and they've done a great job. But we're just gonna do what we can do and just try to keep on focus on being faster and winning races.
With and I loved hearing you say how you worked on your program for a couple months and trying to get better. And I've told people, a lot of that, it's very hard when you run a lot of shows. But do you think a lot? Obviously you said you didn't race but 2 races last year. And knowing you and you're very hands-on and you're a very technical person, do you felt like that got you behind and you just had to play catch-up most of this year?
I think in a way, I guess we came from such a strong season in 2013. It was a phenomenal year for us, and then running in 14, and then with our program, we already made some changes to our program in 14, and then starting this year, I kind of started where they ended last year, and it just took us, partway through the season to kind of figure out which direction we needed to go, and without a doubt, I think we've made a lot of strides, and I think we're back where we should be. The guys work so hard. My crew and my dad and everyone, back, at Rocket, have been working hard, and there's been a lot of cars out there that have been fast, and the bar is always raising, so you always have to try to search. And we were at a point in the middle of the season or the middle of the summer where we were we were second points, but we had such a big gap that we were just like, we might as well try some things to get better. So sometimes that's an advantage because you don't have anything to lose at that point, and I think it's worked out.
Well, you talk about that huge gap, and you've come a long way to be only 154 points out, but it surprises me that you're kind of already counting yourself out. I mean, yes, Clanton is having solid finishes, but I think it's still doable, is it not?
Well, that's not that I'm counting myself out. I mean, just being realistic, there's 5 races left, and if we win and he doesn't even start the race, it's only a 75-point gain. So, we'd have to do that twice. But we're without a doubt we're focused on winning races and doing what we can. But that's just the real reality of it. He would have to have some really big problems.
Do you think in the late model world, in what I've seen, obviously Kevin Rumley and Jonathan Davenport were on fire, and they're still very competitive right now, and they raise the bar. Every year it's like somebody raising the bar. And you talked about your program, but there's a lot of people, as I was talking, like Owens is really stepping up. You got Mikey Marler who's come out. So many people working on their program. Bloomer just won at Lawrenceburg, that everybody's gone to work. It's really hard to kind of say, hey, this guy is so dominant and nobody's going to touch him, where, it's gone to everybody's homework. Is that something that you see, like everybody just said, man, we're tired of getting our ass kicked here?
Well, I guess kind of in a way. It's just, it's how racing's been for, however many years. At least the 12 that I've been around it hasn't changed at all. It's just how it goes. You just ride the wave, and you just keep digging whenever, if things, it was different for us because every year that I raced, every year we were better, and every year was better than the year. So
I guess what I was asking, and I don't mean to, is take your 2013 season. You were just from the beginning to the end very strong. This year it's like, man, it's up and down. There's so many people that's been dominant at times that it's like everybody just keeps working so hard at it.
Oh, without a doubt. The guys have been working hard, and this day and age, the changes are so minute. It could be the smallest little thing, can be, a half a tenth or a tenth on the racetrack, which in today's world is huge. it's the tolerances are so close. And before, you have to do everything in your power. I mean, the car's got to be good, the engine's got to be good and drivable, and you got to do your part driving, and the tire guy's got to have his tires grooved right, and everything is before you can just go out and out race guys because you knew that you could. Well, now you can't do that. You still have to be 110% on your driving and 110% on everything else to be competitive. And it's just the smallest little thing can, it shows up on the racetrack.
I want to talk a little bit. Your dad, Mark, owns Rocket, and you're the head guy of that camp when it comes to drivers. How much do you rely on other people who are in your cars to determine what you do with your car, or are you the lead guy and you just kind of tell everybody else what you're working with?
It works both ways. We try to help them, and they try to help us. I mean, any information is information, and we all try to help each other, and we've been fortunate, but there was a lot of guys that have been behind us that never gave up and just kept digging until we can get back to it. It's just a matter of getting there, and we can go this weekend and not make the race. So that's just how I guess that's what makes late model racing so popular. It's so competitive that it's very humbling, and it's a steady project, and you always have to work at it. And my dad's been doing this for, I guess he's 50. He'll be 55 this year, and he started building cars when he was 14. And there's not a guy that works harder than him. Over the 40 years, he's worked at it really hard, and I've learned so much from him. And we try to help each other, and just try to get to a point where we're able to help our customers and keep everything rolling. And it's been a lot of fun to be able to do that, and say that this is what I do for a living, and be in the position that we're in. I'm really blessed.
I look at and again I knew a lot of the dirt late model guys, and as I've gotten to know more guys and do stuff, and you speak about your father, and his intensity is at a level of nobody else. And you're just kind of like, okay, hey, we got this, or we're going to do this, or just like I hear you talk, and you're like, yeah, for 2 months we were working on stuff. You're so laid back. Do you guys balance each other quite a bit?
I think so. I mean, that's the thing with my personality is I don't hardly ever get wound up, but when it comes time to go race that's when it's time to get serious, and you go out there and do what you got to do. But I think so. Sometimes he wants to try something, and he's really very strong-willed, wants to try something, do something, and I'm like, no, it's not what we need to do. Or I think we definitely balance each other out, and we try to work together and find a common goal. Because at the end of the day, I've learned I got to trust him sometimes, and there's times that he knows he has to trust me on adjustments on the car sometimes throughout the night, or if it's something with the engine or something like that he's confident what I'm saying, and I'm confident in what he's saying. And you got to have that the chemistry and that relationship with your guys and your crew. Everybody, even with Danny and Cody, Cody on doing our tire work, he works really hard at what he does, and Danny, the main mechanic. I mean, everybody's got to work together and have that communication.
Yep. What about you? Even have your wife's involved with the team too?
Yeah,
correct?
She is. I've been married a year now. She's been to every dirt race this year. So Andrew does a.
Is that a first for her to be at every dirt race?
It is. I mean, she was at every Sprint Cup race for 3 years, and then there was a year in 2013. We never saw each other at all. And then last year I wasn't racing, so we both. She worked part-time, and then this year it's been. I mean, it's all new to her, and it's been a lot of fun. To have her there and to be able to do this it's been really cool.
She's not on you yet about, oh, we need a vacation. We got to go somewhere sunny or on some beach or something.
Be careful what you say here, Josh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were out. I mean, we would have been at the north-south in Florence. Everyone's like, why didn't you go to 50,000 wind? I was like, man, we've been on the road for 6 weeks, and we drove, however many 6,000 or 7,000 miles, and we hadn't been home, and so we took that weekend off, and every year that's our vacation. So unless they move the north-south, that's where we're not going to be there, because we're going to be on vacation. So
yep.
You just gotta, you have to take time for yourself, because it's easy to get consumed into everything.
So where'd you end up taking her?
We actually go every year to UP in Michigan. Her family has a small little fishing resort. It's real relaxing, and we go and out for a week, and there's no cell phone service or anything like that, so you can really separate and get regrouped. And
you didn't make a quick stop at Kaiser's, did you?
No.
She wouldn't let you do that, huh?
No, my dad and the crew guys were working hard that week, but we were out just getting ready to go again.
Well, that's awesome. She's able to travel with you on the road and do everything. I know when we've been at the track, I've seen her very interactive in the team, and it's got to be very rewarding for you to be able to win here and then also have her part of your program too.
Oh, without a doubt. She asked me in the middle of the year, she's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "You're not winning like you usually win." I'm like, I'm trying. This is not easy. This is tough. So it's been a lot of fun.
I think there's a lot of fans saying that too. They're like, "Man, this guy would kick everybody's ass all the time," and now, but it's funny that, as I've been able to watch the late model world, it's just developing like crazy over the last year and a half, and I know I can't wait for the World Finals at Charlotte because it's going to be great because there'll be so many good guys there, and I know you always love coming to that show, so it's going to be definitely a big race there.
Oh, without a doubt. I love coming to Charlotte, and like you said, I mean, this day and age, I mean, I feel like the last couple of years have been, leaps and bounds in the stuff that everybody's doing, and everybody's having to be smarter and do things, and coming to Charlotte, I think we've won 6 outlaw races there, and we've always run really well, and I tell everybody that's the biggest event, in late model history in my eyes. I mean, the World 100 is more prestige, but as far as an event as a whole, to have the sprint cars and the modifieds and the late models there, and the facility, I mean, I don't think anything can top that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So
very true. But,
well, hey, good luck to you, Mr. August. I'm going to call you October too, but it's not here yet. But August has been your month, and we wish you the best of luck in keeping that roll going, and try to keep your dad in line there.
Oh yeah, we'll try to. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on here, and hopefully we can keep it in the show next week and be up front. But we'll see what we can do.
No, I'm sure you will. Thanks for being on the show here again. I think his phone cut out there.
That's it. All right.
It's awesome because he had said he was gone for 6 weeks, and that World Outlaw late models, they were gone. Like Shane was gone for 6-7 weeks talking about it. A lot of them guys were very hard on him. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, Shane's got 9 wins. Josh has 9 wins. There's 6 races left.
I don't count him out.
I don't either. That's why. I mean, I get it logistically what he's saying points wise, which I didn't realize it was such a small ratio of first to last point wise. But
it's interesting listening to him because a lot of us talk about the Charlotte World Finals, but that is a big race because all 3 of the big dirt series are there. So anyways, we got to take a break
another
here.
big series that we're going to talk about with Justin K is the IMCA. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Ready to take the training wheels off your race scanner? Go to fanvision.com and upgrade your experience with FanVision. Not only will you be able to hear the race,
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets a good run, drafting help from Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Jr. again pulls up alongside for the race lead.
You'll see every moment through live video, instant replays, live stats, and more.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, driver of the #1 Cessna Chevrolet, and I never go to the track without my FanVision. So go to fanvision.com to rent or buy yours today.
This is Steve Post.
And I'm Kendra Jacobs.
Join us every Saturday morning at 9:30 Eastern Time for MRN's Wing Nation on MAV TV.
We'll talk with the biggest names in wing sprint car racing, from the world of outlaws to your local wing sprint car track. We cover it all.
Plus, we'll preview each weekend's biggest wing sprint car races from around the country.
MRN's Wing Nation, 9:30 Eastern Time, Saturday mornings on MAV TV.
If you don't get MAV TV, go to getmavtv.com to find your local TV provider and let them know you want MAV TV.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
This is Slingin Dirt with the Stremmes. Unfortunately, we do have to take breaks to pay the bills here
Listen,
at MRN,
they
but
were
it's
busting my
always a
butt.
good time.
They were busting my butt because I was like, hey, thanks for having me on the show. I'm not used to having a show, folks.
David,
Look,
this is our 25th show, okay?
They get on me. Sometimes they talk too much. Hey, I give maybe my opinion too much. I don't know. But listen, I love having it. I hope you folks tune in. I'm sorry. We got bills to pay. They had to take a break.
That's right.
And we got to introduce some new people.
Speaking of bills to pay, our next guest on the line, he's the local hero in Eastern Iowa, and he's currently leading the IMCA late model points. It's Justin Kay. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Well, Justin, I'm going to be completely honest with you. David nor myself know a ton about you, but every week I'm rolling through the results and your name keeps popping up, and I'm like, we have to have this guy on the show. So I pull up your information on the internet this weekend, and I'm like, you're like the Eastern Iowa hero out there to those people. It is amazing.
Yeah, and the IMCA late models, it seems the last 3 years have been pretty amazing for us. Just how we've been running with everybody. It's pretty cool.
Well, I looked, there's like a fan vote or a poll that the local newspaper does every week, and like for the last 4 weeks, you've been number one. So it's remarkable what you're doing. You're winning races week in and week out. But what I think is really cool is I believe you run a super late model, the IMCA late model, and then you also dabble with the modifieds as well.
Yeah, we only got to race the super late model like 3 times so far this year. Haven't got to really play much of that. Running for all the points and the IMCA stuff, and so then the modified just to go play with now and then, something different. It's kind of fun, and it's just lots of racing, that's for sure.
So with obviously the Boone Nationals coming up, or IMCA Nationals, the modifieds are there. They have late models there. Will we get to see you there, or will I get to see you there?
I will be there Monday for the Deary Brothers portion of the Super Nationals, but the modified's going to stay home that weekend. There's actually a super late model race at Davenport that we're going to go to, Davenport Speedway. We're going to go to that Friday and Saturday.
You just rather, and I don't blame you, because they told me this will be my first Nationals, and they're like, and I'm going to help a customer and watch and spectate, but they said by the end of the week you'll be tired of watching racing. There's so many cars there. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday. But tell everybody a little bit more about this huge show they have in Iowa.
Well, I've only been out there Monday. I
Really?
never went to the rest of the week, and I don't think we get the whole perspective of it. But I'm not a really big crowd person, and to me, it's too much almost. There is just cars everywhere. There's people everywhere. It's kind of crazy on how big of a show it is. I mean, you can't. It's just amazing that every time we go at the late models, it seems like we park in the middle of the driveway.
Well, I know it's interesting, and I love hearing everybody's perspective because, I looked up the town of Boone where it's at, and I'm like, man, this place is small. And they talk about the amount of people come in. It reminds me of when NASCAR rolls into Talladega, Alabama. It turns into like the 3rd largest city in the state of Alabama. So I imagine Boone's going to be the same way, and we'll definitely somehow have to find you out there with the parking arrangements. But with the late model stuff, what is your goals? Are you going to try to move up, maybe go run some World Outlaw races, or try to follow some of them tours, or are you going to stick, kind of the Deary Brothers or the IMCA stuff?
Well, with just getting a family started and everything, and having we don't race for a living, so we got the farming back home, so it's hard to travel a lot in the spring and fall to try to chase one of them traveling series. So, and I'm not really a big fan of all the different tire compounds.
Yep.
I kind of like, that's why I like racing the IMCA. You get one compound, that's it. Everybody's on the same thing, and it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. You can work on other things. And I like racing the super late model. I want to do it more, and I think that's kind of the plan for next year, is to travel, to go to a couple different racetracks.
Yeah, I'm with you on the tire selection, and I think even there's a lot of other guys. Francis was on the show. He was the same way. But, you talk about the farming, and I'm going to ask you, being a farmer, because I've asked some other guests on the show that are in farming, and to me, learning this dirt, racing is, I think you got to have that farming background. Do you think you have an advantage when you're able to look at this dirt that people race on, like, say, when you go different places? Because I know I've seen everything from red to black to rocks to sand. I mean, it's crazy at some of the stuff they run on, and it's very different in how it takes water and moisture. You feel you got a little bit of advantage of being able to read the track?
Well, not really, because
Man, you just blew my theory.
We're farming because we're trying to grow a crop out of the dirt, not see how fast we can go on it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like the farm ground we got about every type of dirt there is, I think. So.
And you just grow everything; it just grows the same in all of it.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
see,
there's some differences.
There's some differences there.
You kind of, it's easier when you go to a track. You can kind of look at the dirt itself and see if it's going to dry out fast or slow, or you can kind of guess a little bit there. But every time you do that, it seems like you're wrong anyway.
That's what I've learned. I watch these guys. They go out there and they take this knife or a screwdriver or something. They stick the dirt, and I'm like trying to watch them to understand this. But then some guys will win, some will suck. They just, and I'm like, well, I don't know if there's any. I just figure you got to be a good farmer to figure this out. But so far, I'm 2 for 2, and you guys are saying no on it. So,
well,
I'm sure there's something to it, but we don't follow that much.
Justin, we don't know a whole lot about you, and for our Iowa listeners, I'm sure they know a ton about you. But for the East Coasters, I kind of want you to tell me about your background in racing, how you got started, how long you've been racing, and what keeps you going.
Well, I'm 26 now. I'll be 27 here in 3 or 4 days.
Oh, happy early birthday.
And then I started racing when I was 15, actually. So that's where the number came with the 15.
Okay.
And started racing front-wheel drive 4-cylinders. I've never really been around racing before when I was younger, and we went to the races one night. My cousin saw the 4-cylinders, looked like fun. And we went and got one.
That is awesome.
Raced the 4-cylinders till 2007, and then ended up going straight to a IMCA late model.
Wow. So 4-cylinders of late models. I like that. I like that step there. With racing and being around it as you have, do you see, and you said you're starting a family, do you see your kids getting involved in racing, or are you just going to have them farming, or,
Well, I'll let them do kind of what they want when it comes to that. And if they want to go racing, then we'll do what we can to go racing. If they want to go show cattle, then we'll do what we can to go show cattle. It's kind of, I'm not going to make them do anything they don't want to do, so.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
I love it because there's so many, the family of farmers. You see, whether
Mike
it's
Harrison.
a farmer, whether it's a farmer in Illinois or Indiana and out there in Iowa or Kansas, they all kind of come together. They feel like they're part as one. And racing's kind of the same way. Do you feel that on both sides?
Yeah, I mean, I've made so many awesome friends racing that I don't know. It's hard to imagine anything without it. It's just you get some kind of rivalries in that, but almost every time at the end of the day, you can still sit down and have a beer with them afterwards. Or
you don't have that in farming, where they go, "Oh man, that guy's got his cattle. He stole mine," or did you don't have any big rivals?
You don't get any of that.
That guy's doping up the food for them cows, or doing anything.
No, there's none of that in the farming. It's just the farming though, you don't see each other all the time.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I don't know how you have time to race, because everybody I know that's a farmer, they tell me about these GPS devices. They're out with their tractors, and I got a couple buddies that got farms in Illinois, kind of all over, but I'm like, man, they put in a lot of work. I don't know where they get time to race. Do you have a lot of help on your cars or at the farm to be able to allow this?
There is no way I'd be able to go racing near as much as we do without Tyson gear. He's kind of the main man on the race car stuff.
Yep.
He's building and selling cars out of the shop now for other people.
Awesome.
Kinda.
Awesome.
Well, that's cool.
Well,
it's cool. There's no way I could do it without him. And I got another friend of mine, Scotty, that's always here. And just the the help that goes around every couple weekends or something.
Well, I look forward to meeting your whole crew and you at Boone there on Monday, because I don't think we have anything going on Monday, and I'm going to be there. So I'll be cheering you on, and definitely come over and say hey and have a beer with you.
Yeah, we'll definitely be there. I don't know where we'll be parked, but
in the driveway somewhere.
I'm sure I'll walk somewhere. They just told me do not ride four-wheelers over to the Walmart or anywhere else. They said keep them on the premises. So
Yep. I think they frown upon that.
I was like, all right. So we'll make sure I look you up. And thanks again for coming on the show, and good luck to you.
And good luck on wrapping up that third consecutive championship for the IMCA late models.
Yeah, still got 1 weekend left, but I think as long as we start the race at Dubuque on Sunday, that should about do it. So.
Awesome.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Awesome. Love it. We got to go to break, and we'll be right back here on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Dale Jr. here. I wear Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable anytime, anywhere.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans are built with a U-shaped construction, so they give you more room where you need it. And their four-way flex technology moves with you for all-day comfort.
In the garage or out and about, Wrangler knows the ins and outs of comfort. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Motor Racing Network has always been your source for motorsports coverage when you couldn't be at the track. Now, MRN is even more accessible with the brand new MRN app, available on your iPhone or Android device right now. This free app delivers all the latest motorsports news and schedules, locates nearby MRN stations, streams your favorite programs, and lets you interact with the MRN team on social media. Search MRN in the App Store or on Google Play. It's the Motor Racing Network at your fingertips, and it's available right now.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
You're listening or watching Slingin Dirt here on MRN.com. We have the weekend wrap-up. Late models are at the Lucas Oil Series is at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, PA. Woo woo.
Yep.
Then
you have
Bill.
Hey, you got Kenny Walsh, Justin Allgaier, Kenny Schrader at Macon Speedway on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And
why aren't we going?
Because we're not ready.
Okay.
We don't have stuff. But anyways, make sure you can go to Kenny Walsh's Twitter, find out that he's got 5 other races going on up there in Illinois. Same with Justin Allgaier on his off weekend. I think he's hitting Farmer City.
Yeah, a bunch of
a couple
them up
other
there in
ones.
Illinois.
But to touch base also, Rodney Sanders and Jason Crone finished 1-2 at Lakeside. A lot of the other races got rained out. I thought that was really cool because kind of a family
situation.
thing, because Rodney's been seeing Jason's daughter for 3 years or so, Samantha. But anyways, back to, and I was going to talk really briefly about the UMP national points. It's going to come down to basically about 3 guys, or Harrison and Gilpin there at Eldora. So it's going to be an awesome show. Again, our thoughts are with Justin Wilson and his family.
Absolutely.
It's terrible. Motorsports are dangerous, and we think about that all the time. And there's always room for improvement.
It's been a rough few weeks for the motorsports family, for sure. And it doesn't matter what you race, you're a part of the family.
You're learning more and more about him, and he's a great guy. So.
Up next, Swing Nation with our friends Posty and Kendra. Thank you for joining us here on Slingin Dirt on MRN.com.
Find us.
Yes.
This has been Slingin Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.